Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tara. For those of you guys who are new here, I make YouTube videos about my life in medical school, and every single Sunday I release new music. So today is the first day of a series of 7 videos that are all accompanied by blog posts. You can find the blog posts up here. There'll be a link to my website, also down in the description box below. And this is kind of an introduction to the series, why I decided to do it, a little bit about like what's gonna be included. But before we get into the video, make sure that you click subscribe and ring the notification bell to make sure you're kept up to date on everything that's going on up here on the channel. So first, what is this series all about? This series is all about what my last year of medical school has been like during COVID-19. So for those of you who don't know, I just finished my 3rd year of medical school here in Dublin, Ireland. I'm originally from Canada, and I'm hoping to practice medicine in the United States after I graduate. I kind of want to take everyone back to the beginning of the pandemic. So in class, we learned about different types of coronaviruses. For the most part, we learned that it was a rather insignificant virus. It usually leads to the common cold, mild respiratory symptoms, nothing really to worry about, but it has led to epidemic outbreaks in the past, like the SARS epidemic that happened in the early 2000s, as well as the MERS epidemic that started in about 2012. Now, we'd heard rumblings of this new coronavirus variant that was emerging in early 2020. Relatively, we were living a completely normal life in February. For those of you guys who have been familiar with my YouTube channel for a while, you may remember that I took a trip to Copenhagen in late February. We had a great time and things were relatively normal. When we got back is when things started to change, kind of in early March. We started getting email reminders to wash our hands and maintain good cough hygiene. We were receiving daily updates about what the school was doing, and we'd been hearing rumblings from the upperclassmen about potentially a school closure that might happen. March 12th is when things really changed. We received an email that basically said, come to the auditorium, you have a meeting with your department heads. And we were all like, we'd kind of been hearing rumblings from other classes. They'd gotten similar emails, kind of the expected was announced. However, it was a lot more severe than we originally thought it would be. And we got a follow-up email during the meeting to explain a little bit more about what they were anticipating. And that was that the school was going to close indefinitely, and that the priority was to make sure that the current senior class graduated. And I saw it as an opportunity to study more for my USMLE, which I was going to be taking later that year anyway. The school did recommend that we go home. I initially decided that I wanted to stay in Ireland, stay with my boyfriend. I'd study here, I'd get a lot more done. Eventually, he convinced me that it would be a good idea for me to go home and see my family. And then my parents were like, yeah, we'd really like to have you home. So he decided to stay in Ireland and I went back to Canada. And I was back in Canada for a period of about 3 months. It was probably like mid-March until the end of May. It was like 2.5, 3 months. And it was a bit of an adjustment. I haven't lived with my parents for that length of time since I was still in high school. I wasn't used to kind of the way that they functioned. They weren't used to the way that I functioned anymore. And I really kind of grieved my independence. And it took me a while to get used to it. And I almost felt like I got used to it just as I left to go back to Ireland at the end of May, beginning of June. I was really happy to go back to Ireland to see my boyfriend, and we studied all summer, just stayed home and studied all summer for the USMLE Step 1. We took it successfully in August, and then we got a 5-week break before we started our first rotation. So I am going to leave this at that. The next 6 videos will cover what my 5 rotations were like this year. So in order, next week there'll be a video on my OBGYN rotation. The week after that will be a video on my general practice rotation. After that, it'll be a video on my pediatrics rotation, then my clinical medicine rotation, and finally my psychiatry rotation. This series will all culminate with a short video just kind of concluding my final thoughts on what the year was like now that it's over, now that we've gotten through our final exams and that everything is done. And I really want to emphasize that I don't want to shy away from some of the really challenging things that happened this year. Rotations didn't always go as planned, and there was a lot of kind of heartbreak and frustration. My grandmother passed away while I was here and I couldn't go back for her funeral. There were hard things that happened this year, and hard things happened for everyone, and I don't want to shy away from that. But I also don't want to not acknowledge some of the amazing things that happened this year. Like, I got to deliver a baby, guys. I got to deliver a baby. That's probably one of the coolest things that's happened this year. I got to do my peds rotation. All of these things were amazing things that happened, and I want to tell you guys about them. And this is a little bit of a different format. If you guys want a little bit more info, some more detail, the blog posts that are associated with this, you can find it down in the description, will be much more detailed than these videos will be. These videos will kind of be an overview of what I've written in the blogs. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know down in the comments. If you want to hear anything specific about any of my rotations, please let me know down in the comments, because I'd love to answer your questions and incorporate more of what you guys want to hear. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.